That's just sports, baby.
Crowd goes wild. Strawberry ice, bringing fire and style. Reds, Bengals, Bearcats, all in my zone. This is my stage, my mic, my throne. Boom, like a hammer, I'm breaking the game. Strawberry ice, you're gonna know my name. Sports Talk Thunder, hear the podcast roar. Cincy's line is kicking down the door. Step into the ring where the passion ignites. Talking sports all day and all night. From the field to the court to the roaring stands. Strawberry ice with the world in my hands. Boom, like a hammer, I'm breaking the game. Strawberry ice, you're gonna know my name. Sports Talk Thunder, hear the podcast roar. Cincy's fine is kicking down the door.
Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to the show. This is Sports with Strawberry Ice. I'm your host, the Iceman, Jeff Trunapole. And as always, I bring you sports from a West Side point of view right here in the great city of Cincinnati, Ohio. And as always, I'm coming to you live from the Ice Cave.
All right, shout out to my sponsors. They are Priority Lawn and Landscaping for all your lawn and landscaping needs. You need your grass cut, you need shrubbery trimmed, I don't know, you need a paper patio, you need anything. I mean anything. Landscaping required. Think Priority Lawn and Landscaping. Also, shout out to T Properties, quality housing for quality people. Check out the website at www.tpropertiesllc.com for all your rental property management needs and your rental needs. And of course, Meyer Window, Door, and More. I got them in my house. I highly recommend you get them in yours. They're energy efficient, great looking windows, easy to clean. Meyer Window, Door, and More. The website is MeyerCincinnati.com. And also, shout out to my favorite brewery, Moreline Lager House. Get on down there, get you some delicious Moreline beer, some delicious Moreline food. And tell them I sent you. Moreline Lager House.
Exactly. We had a great time down at the tailgate. Make sure you guys come on down to the next watch party or tailgate that we have down at the Moreline Lager House. It is an absolutely great time. It's a blast. What's up to everybody in the chat? Let's scroll up top here. We got Stranger in there. We got Brad in there. We got Mike Evershaw. What is going on? He is in the house. Stranger, I said already. And Lindsay. Oh, and Ray. You just jumped in there. How you doing, Ray? What's up? All right, guys. So Mike Petraglia hopefully will be joining me here in a little bit. He hasn't got into the waiting room yet, but the Cincinnati Bengals have made a trade. Early this morning, they traded Logan Wilson to the Dallas Cowboys for a 7th round pick. Now, I don't know about you guys, with this happening early in the morning, I'm like, all right, well, they're getting started early. Maybe, Trey Henderson gets traded, or BJ Hill, or Cam Taylor-Britt, or something, because I'm looking at it this way. Unless this defense miraculously gets better, we're going to be probably picking in the top 5. So let's try to get as many shots at the dartboard as we can. And hopefully Duke will actually draft well, which Duke does draft well when he has a top 5 pick. The problem is when he doesn't have that is when we get in the situation we're in now. But no other trades happened for the Cincinnati Bengals, which not really surprising, but it kind of sucks. So I don't know what to make of this other than they granted Logan what he wanted. So, and the Bengals have done 2 things in this season that they normally don't do. They made 2 in-season trades. They traded for Joe Flacco, and they traded for Logan Wilson. But yeah, it's interesting. I don't know. Hilarious Scales, what is up, my dude? We're getting all the legends in there. What's going on? Now Paul says apparently knew about it last week, according to Jerry Jones. I really wouldn't believe a lot of stuff that Jerry says. Jerry is known to talk a lot of crap and not make a whole lot of sense. But Logan Wilson went from one terrible defense to another terrible defense. Now people are saying, "I watch him go there and play awesome." Which, I mean, hey, I hope he does. I mean, I like Logan Wilson. Logan Wilson helped us get to that Super Bowl and that glorious Super Bowl run here. Now I want to tell you about I would do, and I'm hoping this is what the Bengals do, and I can talk to Trags about this when he joins the show. With this, now we're going to start talking about what they do in the offseason. With this offseason and how, because you can't fix the defense now. I mean, unless they miraculously start playing better, and I mean a lot better, we're going to see pretty much what we've seen the last couple weeks, all offense and new defense. With that being said, they do not have any big contracts that they have to negotiate. Other than you can say Trey Henderson, but I don't know if they're actually planning on re-signing him. Like last year, they had Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. Now, T made it easier for them. There was only one agent to negotiate, but for some reason, it seemed like that took up all their time, and they completely just forgot about free agency. Now, with, I think it's like 60-something million under the cap that I have right now, and that's not even counting what they saved with Logan Wilson, which, I mean, they saved some, but not as much as they could have because they still got the dead cap hit. So we will see what that is. Now, with that being said, I do think that the Bengals, or put it this way, I think the Bengals should do this. Will they do it? I don't know. If you go and throw a whole bunch of money, because they got money, throw a whole bunch of money like they did when Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase didn't make any money, throw a whole bunch of money at the defense, which is what they're going to have to do. If you give me let's just say they've some crazy reason re-signed Trey, which I don't, at this point, I don't know if they will or not. But give me another defensive end. Give me a cornerback. Give me a veteran safety. Maybe add a linebacker. If they could do that and they can hit on 2 or 3 of their draft picks, we're going to be in pretty good shape here. But that's what they got to do to make this work, so they actually have a chance to be a very good defense next year, because right now they're awful. But the man has made it into the waiting room. He's one of my favorite guests to have on here. He comes on so many times. He's a very, very busy man. I appreciate every time Trags come on, but it's the one, the only, Mike Petraglia. What's up, Trags? How you doing?
It's been a week, Ice. It's been a week.
It's been something.
I need that. I need the break. I need the bye. I know a lot of Bengal fans like yourself probably need the bye. It's been a hectic couple of weeks ever since the Pittsburgh game ended, and you thought, well, maybe this team has it together. They certainly have an opportunity to beatable teams, and as we saw, they certainly were beatable. But they couldn't finish the expletive game, the freaking game.
Yeah.
They couldn't do it.
And this week was even more gut-wrenching than last week, because, Trags, I'll tell you, like, when we were down, I'm like, dude, we're going to lose this game again. This is unbelievable. Then we get an onside kick. You know how hard it is to get an onside kick now? And we got it. And then we go down and we score. For the love of God, Jordan Battle, wrap up. He hit him in the shoulder. Geno Stone's right. There's 3 guys there, Trags. None of them can make a tackle. What the is going on here? This is ridiculous.
Well, I mean, they're just not good on defense. I hate to throw coaching under the bus. They're not well coached. They're out of position on the field. I mean, it was Jordan Battle saying that on Monday to us, to the group of reporters. He was pretty, candid in that we can't get lined up in the right positions. And if we can't get lined up in the right positions, we're probably not going to play the play correctly. Well, that's a good point, Jordan. You're not. But, from Shamar Stewart cracking in over the nose and leaving the end wide open on Caleb Williams' escape for whatever it was, 20 yards when he should have been sacked. That's inexcusable. So many inexcusable moments in that game on Sunday, and probably just as many against the Jets the week before. Bengals are not a good team, but the problem with the Bengals is, and the problem with their the way they do football business is they're stubborn. They're not going to acknowledge that major changes need to be made. Now,
Mhm.
if you believe the suggestion, okay, the speculation is the word
Right.
of Mike Florio of Pro Football Talk
Yeah.
that maybe they are considering making a move on Duke Tobin. Well, that would be a pretty significant move, and I think a lot of Bengal fans would be, well, it's about time. But I'll believe that when I see it. I mean, I just don't see it happening right now.
And I take half of what Mike Florio says with the Bengals a grain of salt. I think
Well,
he, I don't know. I'm not gonna say he lies and makes stuff up, but it seems like it. Some of the stuff he says. I mean, I hope he's right because that's what I've been saying. I mean, this whole thing falls down to drafting and developing. That's the whole.
Correct.
Well, we
Agreed.
don't have a top 5 pick, and Duke doesn't pick in the top 5 in every single round. He's terrible at it. And the thing is, there were guys sitting there. Jihad Campbell was sitting there. The safety from I cannot remember Starks was
Yes.
sitting there. But those two would have been fine. You could have taken Ragnow, the guard, in the second round. McKnight still might have been there in the third round. Those are layups. They're sitting right there. And he goes, you know what? Jamar Stewart's got this ceiling. We want high ceiling guys. No. You need impact players in your first, second round. That can make an impact now is what you need.
They acted like they've already won 2 Super Bowls,
Right.
and they have a roster full of stacked of players, given like the Eagles. Like the Eagles are stacked, and with the Eagles, you could take a reach or two, knowing that you have a base to fall back on. Bengals are not like that. They are not built like that. They have missed too many times in the draft to even think like that. They need guys who could come in and produce right away. And the other point, and many of my colleagues have made this point, if you're going to sign Joe Burrow, T. Higgins, and Jamar Chase to contracts worth over $500 million, you better be able to draft and have guys on rookie contracts who are not on just on the roster, who are there producing. But they have not only not been able to produce, they probably shouldn't even be on the roster. I mean, Jermaine Burton, McKinley Jackson,
Right.
2 third-rounders who have no business being on that roster right now. Nobody has explained to us because Duke Tobin is not made available to us why they are still on the roster. And Zach Taylor is not going to throw those guys under the bus simply because he's got to coach them, right?
Trags, you took the words right out of my mouth. That's what everybody kept saying yesterday. Why does Zach say this? Why does Zach? I'm like, he's not going to throw the guys under the bus because exactly what you said. He's got to coach them. He's got to work with them. So I mean, people want Zach to come out there and say, "F this. We need to be fired."
Okay. I will say this for a lot of the Bengal fans. I think they understand. A lot of them understand this is not a Zach Taylor, Al Golden problem primarily. Are they part of the problem?
Yeah,
Certainly.
they're part of it. Yeah.
I mean, the coaching the last couple of weeks has been horrifically bad. That is undeniable. And Al Golden admitted as much to us yesterday about what happened on Sunday. But the players that they are being given to work with are not good.
No.
They're not good enough. They're not near NFL starting caliber. And on that defense, most of them wouldn't be on a roster on another team, let alone starting.
Yeah, I mean, you literally have guys who nobody else would pick, and that's why they try to act like. I used to defend them on this, but I can't anymore. They act like they're the smartest guys in the room. We're so much smarter than everybody else, and they're not. They've proven it over and over and over and over again. I mean,
well, I wrote this for CLNS this afternoon. Just finished it before I came on here with you, and that is apparently the status quo is good enough for them on a day when the progressive teams in the NFL, playoff contenders, right down to the New York Jets and Dallas Cowboys, teams with absolutely no playoff expectations this year. Maybe Dallas, you can make the argument, certainly not the Jets. What did they do today? They used it as an augmentation to free agency and the draft next year. That's the way you view this day. And the Bengals are not built like that. They don't look.
Why?
Why don't we go out and get a Quinnen Williams? Why don't we make a push for Jeffrey Simmons? Both of those guys are about, 28, 29.
Mm-hmm.
They could come in, be the anchor of a defensive line that Lord knows needs to be rebuilt. Bengals won't do it. They won't. Well, our draft picks mean too much to us. Really?
For what?
What have you done with the draft?
Right.
And that's why I think one of the fundamental reasons I think Duke Tobin might be in trouble.
Oh, he has to be, because this falls squarely on him. Because
Mike Potts.
Yeah, because they are the ones that draft these guys. And it's like, the other thing is, like, all right, why is Trey Hendrickson still on this team? I mean, I know he's hurt, but why couldn't they try to get something for him? Because I look at it this way, Mike. Like, even if Duke is the GM next year or whatever, his player personnel, director of player personnel, he needs more shots at the dartboard. At least get these guys contracts off the books and get more draft capital. Plus, hopefully next year, maybe they're not going to be, inundated with signing Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, which you only had to talk to one agent about doing that, and completely forget about the freaking free agency. Because if they could add some veteran free agents, that would have helped this year. Like, they completely ignored the safety spot altogether.
Okay, so with Trey Hendrickson, they're in a very difficult rock and a hard place spot because they know Trey Hendrickson is their only pass rusher. They know they could probably franchise him next year, bring him back at 31,
right.
and that would be if he's healthy and playing hard, that would be one answer at that position. I don't think anybody would think Trey Hendrickson at 31 years of age is going to be washed up. I don't think he, aside from being hurt, before he got hurt, he still looked like he was, an effective, disruptive is the word I'm looking for, disruptive defensive edge. I don't think anybody would dispute that.
Right.
With the safeties, that was malpractice, what the Bengals did. And that's not Monday morning quarterbacking. That is second quarter of the game quarterbacking. We knew that they needed depth behind Geno Stone and Jordan Battle. They didn't draft for it. They didn't go out and do anything. That's malpractice. I mean, there are assistant coaches in junior college, Jeff, that could tell you that they had not enough in the secondary room.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, they got Geno Stone to take less money, which I'm like, all right, well, then that means they're going to take his money that he's not going to make as much of, and I don't know, go out and get somebody, draft somebody. No, they did nothing, which the safety position was awful last year, and they didn't. It blows my freaking mind. I don't understand why they didn't do anything. It's like the obvious things they couldn't do. It's just like seemed like they were so wrapped up in trying to get Jamar and T signed that they forgot about everything else.
Yep, it does seem that way, and they'll clearly tell you. Obviously, we didn't. We know we had.
Well, then they're just dumb.
But another issue: the BJ Hill contract is looking really bad.
Yeah,
really bad, and that contract to me smells of we have the money to spend. We better spend it on somebody on the defensive line, even if the production doesn't merit that kind of money. BJ Hill is getting paid $11 million a year, 3-year, $33 million contract extension last spring. And that's a lot of money. And have you seen $11 million worth of production on the field this year? I don't think so.
No. Now that one's bad. That's another one that I thought maybe you might trade, but they didn't. So
good point. But I think the Bengals probably would have again been asking for a price too high, and
they value their own guys too much. Okay, so you say that, and then everybody's complaining that they only got a 7th-round pick for Logan Wilson. I'm more upset that they had to take the dead cap space hit. We couldn't get the Cowboys to take that. I mean, that was if you're taking a 7th-round pick, at least take the money.
They get some cap space, I believe, in 2027. But yeah, they have to take hits this year and next year. Yeah,
so it's like, okay, you save money sort of, but I don't know. To me, you should have saved.
Well, I mean, it's
more
complicated,
money.
But you can take dead cap hits and still still save salary cap room.
Well, and beside that, this still, am I correct in this? They're like 60 million under the cap still. Is that about right?
I think
where
that's
right
about
now?
right. Yeah.
So that's my whole point to this thing. Is like they still have money, and people keep saying, well, they're too cheap to do anything. Like, I don't think they're too cheap. I just don't think they're very smart sometimes because
Well,
if they're too
I think
cheap,
that's a fair point.
well, they okay, because T. Higgins, they cost them more money. They could have signed him before and got him cheaper. Jamar Chase cost themselves more money. So to me, that's not cheap. That's just not smart. Now, this whole thing with this defense here, why not go out? And this is where I think they will do this. Well, they have to do this next year. I think. I don't think they have a choice. They have to go out in this offseason and get a safety, get a DB, get a linebacker, get a defensive, something along those lines. They have got to sign a veteran guy for at least maybe a 1 year, 2 year contract, wants a chance to go win a Super Bowl, because you're going to have a chance here with Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins. You're going to have a chance. You just need to fix that defense. That's where I think they've got to make those moves this offseason.
I just don't know what's going to be available in free agency and how hard the Bengals are going to go after it.
They better.
I mean, they better, but I just don't know if they have the front office is in such disarray internally now, and Duke Tobin knows he's under the gun, and he probably knows that ownership is not 100% sure bringing him back next year. I think given what is going on inside the building, the players are about at mutiny levels, and we saw it after the game against the Jets on Sunday, and some of the comments, and I know Mike Florio played the clip, and I was in the scrum with Geno Stone. Guys, got their own stories here, and everybody's got to come to work. Everybody has to come to work ready to get their job done. And I think what he's suggesting is not everybody in the building is pulling on the same rope.
Well, I've heard a lot of different stuff that guys are still, so I don't know who they are, that guys are going out partying and doing stuff that they're not supposed to be doing or shouldn't be doing, especially when you're 3-6. Now, I don't know who it is. It's just rumors that I've heard, which, I mean, if it's true, I don't know. But that's the stuff, like, if you're playing at this level of football, you're playing this bad, you better go to bed early, get your ass to the practice. And
but better. I mean, those are optics, and and I tweeted what I tweeted after the game on Sunday about some of the giggling in the locker room, and I think some of the players are oblivious to how that comes off, not only to us, when we ask for a post-game interview, but how it comes off to teammates 20 feet away, who are pouring their hearts out, who are really, i.e. Jamar Chase, who are upset about what just happened. And you got people in the locker room who are like, oh, well, that's
Mike.
And that is a fundamental organizational and attitude problem, with culture problem in the locker room. And look, I wrote a column a couple of years ago about the great job that I thought Zach Taylor did in building a culture in that locker room, built around, we're not going to ride you hard, but we are going to ride you, and we have certain expectations of a standard, and we're going to make sure every player in the locker room holds each other up and accountable. Well, that's not happening now.
Not anymore. It's not.
You don't have every player in the locker room committed to holding everybody else up to a certain standard. And that happens when you turn the locker room over to a younger generation.
Right. And I mean, you don't have leaders on that side of the ball. You don't have Jesse Bates in there anymore.
Mike Hilton's gone.
Mike Hilton, DJ Reader. These are guys that were mainstays in this locker room, and you let them go, and you had nothing to replace them with.
And I'll tell you this, when Jermaine Pratt left, and I think the Jermaine Pratt issue is a fascinating one, because I think he came off as a hothead after the Joseph Osai penalty against the Chiefs in the second AFC title game. It came off as he was uncorked and uncontrollable and had an attitude problem, when he was actually one of the players in that locker room who was holding up others very accountable. And, you don't, I hate to say it this way, but I'll just say it. You appreciate a guy like that when he's gone.
Yeah.
Now in that locker room, it appears to me, and these are optics from the outside. I'm not in there during player meetings. I'm not in there pregame. I am in there postgame, but I'm not in there pregame, not in there at halftime. But it doesn't sound like you have a lot of accountability going on and fear of the coaching staff and the front office from the players.
So if they do get rid of Duke, which I mean, to me, this is so bad. Something has got to change, and it starts with, and the whole thing for me is drafting and developing. I've said that for the last couple of days here. If they do let Duke go, I mean, they're going to hire somebody from the inside. I don't think they should. I think they should go try to find somebody from the outside. But
that's a great point.
I think they're going to hire somebody from the inside. So my fear is it really going to change if they hire somebody from the inside?
What happens if they promote Trey Brown?
Right, which is probably the move. Iceman.
Here is the issue. The Bengals do not want to relinquish any control of player personnel outside the family.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you're not going to find anyone in the National Football League from a functional, proven winning program in the NFL that would want to come to Cincinnati and enter that environment. No one.
Right.
What general manager would want to, or potential general manager would want to come to Cincinnati and, well, not be really the general manager, the director of player personnel, because the family's in charge of the general manager responsibilities. And yeah, we've got that. No, you don't got that.
Yeah.
And that's their problem. If the Bengals were really serious about committing to a long-term winning program with Joe Burrow, they would hire an outside general manager, come in, take a thorough look from the outside and say, here's, A, B, C, D, E, and F, and G of what you really need to do, what you need to address. Here's a 3-year plan to get you there while Burrow and Chase and Higgins are still in their prime. Here's a 3-year plan to get you there. Maybe you get lucky in one of those years and maybe win early, but this is what you've got to do. Do you see Katie Blackburn, Troy Blackburn, and Mike Brown submitting to that? I don't.
I don't, and it doesn't make any sense to me. I brought this up on Friday's show. Like, you would think the Brown family and the Blackburn family would get tired of taking the blame for all this stuff, and everybody's saying Mike Brown sell the team, all this stuff. So if they would hire a GM from the outside and make him the actual GM, that would insulate them from, all right, well, we did what you guys wanted. Here's a GM. Let him go hire his own coach, his head coach. His head coach go hire his coaching staff. That would insulate them. Why are they so? I know you don't know the answer, but it's just why are they so stubborn? You can see that what you've been doing for the last 50 years doesn't work consistently enough.
Why are they so stubborn? I mean, that they're stubborn. That's their personality. It's not a why, Iceman. It is a what. And that's what they are.
But that's like banging your head against a wall, expecting different results.
Right, and as long as they're in control of the team, I mean, countless columns, including by yours truly, have been written about the way the Bengals do business. And if you're expecting them to change, you're going to be expecting until the next ice age for that to happen.
I mean, and they've changed. They changed a lot in the last couple of years, but not nearly enough.
The marketing, the business side, they've
changed
made
that.
Some,
they made
some changes.
They made two in-season trades, which they never do. But I mean, it's not enough. I mean, it's not.
No, I mean,
the fundamental problem with this is drafting and developing, and that's it. Because you got
talent.
You don't have talent, you can't win.
It's called.
Yeah.
It's player procurement, Iceman, and they just have their way of doing things, and they think it is. I see that one comment. It's about control and money. It is about control. It's about family control.
But I mean, the thing is,
that's all. It's that simple. It's not really a complicated.
They're not going to lose. They're the owners of freaking team. They're not going to lose control of the team. If they, I mean, this is what's so mind-numbingly dumb to me.
No.
If you hire a general manager, that guy or girl works for you. So
I understand that, but they think they know football. They think they know football. And that's what drives Bengal fans nuts.
Right.
Okay? They actually, the owners think they are general managers, and they are not.
They're not.
And that, and in a nutshell, that's your problem. When the ownership thinks they're qualified football personnel people full time, and I know Jerry Jones is his own. Look how Jerry Jones Cowboys have disintegrated over the past 20, 25 years. Not that, I mean, they made some aggressive moves today. Tip your cap to Jerry Jones. They also spent a lot of stock capital. But, to Jerry Jones's credit, he at least went out today and tried to do something to fortify his defensive line and say, look, we need to start changing what we're doing. He traded Micah Parsons. I wouldn't have done that.
Which was dumb.
I wouldn't have done that, but he did that. So, you got to give him. Matt Music. Hold on. The reason they won that Super Bowl was not because of Jerry Jones. It was because of Jimmy Johnson. That's the reason. Well, I agree with that, but to his point, Jerry can still say he's won a Super Bowl, and the Bengals cannot. And to Jerry Jones's credit, in the beginning, what did he do? He went out and acquired a dominant head coach to build the program.
Right.
Jimmy Johnson was not Zach Taylor. Zach Taylor was brought in by the Browns and the Blackburns because he would have to defer to everything in the front office. Jimmy Johnson did not have to defer to Jerry Jones.
Right.
Jimmy Johnson said, if I take this job, and obviously, their relationship went back to college, maybe even a little earlier than that, but went back a long, long time. Jimmy told Jerry, if I take this job, there's a certain way it's going to be done. I don't think Zach Taylor could do that.
Oh, no. And the Browns would not hire somebody like that, because I keep seeing people put up AIs of John Gruden coming here. I'm like, John Gruden's not going to come here.
No,
that's just. I hate to say it, it's not going to. I mean, the only hope we got, and this is where I'm like, if we suck the rest of the year and we get a top 5 pick, Duke does good then, and maybe we can hit some home runs in the offseason with some free agency. But I don't know. I mean, and how hard is this for us but you actually cover the team. I do a podcast about them almost every day. These last couple months are going to be rough. I mean, does Joe Burrow?
No, I can't imagine they would allow him to come back.
No, why? I mean, if he's not healthy, for what? And the thing that kills me is the story should be Joe Flacco.
No,
that should be the story. 470 yards. This is the greatest stretch he's ever had as far as throwing a ball in his career. I don't think he's ever thrown it for this much. And that should be the story. I mean, the man probably can't even move his arm. He has a AC joint that's messed up. Took a shot, throws for 470 yards, leads the Bengals all the way back in this tremendous comeback, and it's not.
Imagine if they had won the last 2 games.
Oh, my God. This place would be going nuts.
Well, then you would have a legitimate backup behind Joe Burrow, and then you would be talking about Joe Burrow coming back in maybe even early December.
Right.
But at this point, nobody messes up great opportunity like the Cincinnati Bengals. Bengals had an opportunity with Joe Burrow's window, and I got to tell you right now, it's closing. It's not closing fast, but it's closing.
Right, and that's where I'm like, you got to put some money on this defense next year.
And great point. And they had an opportunity with Joe Flacco, and they completely botched it. From every which way from Sunday, they botched it.
Yeah, I did a video of this after they beat the Steelers, thinking like, if we win the next 2, you got the bye week, then you're heading into Pittsburgh, possibly playing for the division. That's what was right in front of them, clear as day, in front of them. And all you had to do is I don't know, keep the team from scoring 30 points. And
Yeah,
you
but
win?
they're not. I mean, they're playing with a college defense. I know this is such a cliche thing to say, but would you rather have the Ohio State defense or the Bengals defense?
The Ohio State defense, because they're playing a pro style defense.
They are.
They are.
And you know, they got Matt Patricia, who that's another podcast altogether. But but look, Matt Patricia has them playing phenomenal.
Oh,
I mean,
yes.
They are a historic college defense right now, and just the way the Buckeyes play football, it is such a more entertaining brand of football to watch. You know, the Bengals will tell you, everybody in the front office will tell you, we put up 42 points. Isn't that entertaining? Not really when you're allowing 47.
It's frustrating.
Not when you're allowing almost 1,100 yards to Justin Fields and Caleb Williams in back-to-back weeks.
Yeah.
That's really bad. That Ohio State defense wouldn't allow that.
No.
No
I mean,
way.
That's the mind-numbing thing about this whole thing is that's where I'm like, so one thing, you talk about the college defense, like you just said, that they're having a hard time getting lined up again. We can't tackle guys. Like the Bears ran a whole bunch of motion. I mean, they threw two passes to Caleb Williams. Why do we make the defense too complicated for these guys again? Do we have to dumb it down again?
I mean, look, a couple of trick plays, you know, no defense is perfect. And there are defenses that would get fooled by that or not identify the spread guy as the third quarterback as opposed to a tight end. I get that, okay? But the fact that these offensive coordinators in the low red zone are seeing that the Bengals don't know where to line up for trick plays or are rushing players on and off the field, that crap shows up on film. And these guys like Ben Johnson are like, they don't know what they're doing. Here's what we're going to do if we get in the low red zone. This is what we're running.
Right.
Multiple motions, and they'll be in complete disarray. Well, guess what happened on the first drive on Sunday? Bengals had no idea where they were lining up.
Right. And it's the same thing. We said this last year when Lou was our coach, and Lou's over in Indianapolis, and he's killing it over there with their defense. So, I mean, we keep saying coaching, which, yes, it is coaching, but also sometimes players, you got to freaking step up and figure this crap out.
Oh, and you know what? Barrett Carter said that today. Demetrius Knight said it. I think some of the younger players in that locker room do get it. I think Shamar Stewart's got a lot of maturing to do, both on and off the field. He's still a physical specimen, a great talent. But you can't be crashing in 5 to 7 yards on the nose and leave Caleb Williams completely loose on the outside. That's what happened on that play.
Well, and the other stupid thing is, which you tweeted out, if Evan McPherson kicks the ball with a kicker's ball, he probably makes that field goal, and we probably win. How the hell did that happen?
Okay, well, and I'm not killing Darren Simmons. This is an NFL procedural issue. When the play clock starts, the officials are not going to swap out the ball. You're screwed. That's why the decision has to be made quickly. Okay, we're going for the field goal. Play clock hasn't started. The officials then say, yeah, we need to swap out the ball. But once you get whatever is called a Geronimo or hurry up.
Right. Get your ass out there.
Field goal unit. You don't get a chance to change the ball. And that rule's got to be changed. And I don't kill them. I mean, the problem with all of that, the way that went down is the Bengals couldn't make up their mind once they faced 4th and 12 as opposed to 4th and 2 on the intentional grounding by Flacco. And they don't necessarily think 2 or 3 plays ahead. And that time it burned them.
Oh, yeah, that's the problem right there. Is if which I didn't know that you couldn't change the ball once the play clock start. But that's something you're a head coach. You should know that. You guys should know. Well, we can't change the ball out. Well, maybe we should just go ahead and go for it, 4th throw, which he would got killed for that too. But or make the decision sooner. Like, all right, third down or second down. If we don't get this, third down, what are we going to do? Are we going to kick? It's like they didn't have obviously they didn't have a plan, and it backfired on them. That comes down to coaching, and it's just like, if it's not one thing, it's another with this team, and it's just snowball on tracks and just getting worse and worse and worse. And last time we had a defense and a season go this bad was 2018, and Marvin Lewis was gone. So Florida.
The reason Al Golden is still there, in that year, Terrell Austin, Marvin Lewis was a defensive coordinator.
Mm-hmm.
He was a natural guy to come in and say,
right,
screw this, I'm just going to take over, let Terrell Austin go,
mm-hmm,
and take over the play calling. And that was an easy transition for Marvin. You can't do that here because the whole organization is offensive driven.
right.
And who are you going to turn it over to? Jordan Kovacs?
Right.
I mean, you could if this continues 2 weeks after the bye and you still see players completely discombobulated and not, then I think Al's gone.
Well, my point was this is last time they're talking about, like I said, Florida was talking about that there's possibility that Duke might get fired. This continues to go down the hill like this, and like you said, 2 weeks out, and we're still playing like we are. Do they blow everybody out?
It could.
I mean,
that's a possibility.
Because as bad as this, because
now
if
what
this doesn't get any better, you've got to change everything.
What a functional NFL team would do is you would probably bring in an outside general manager. He would bring in his own head coach. Maybe you give Zach a year, maybe you don't. And then you say, we're going to start anew. We're going to bring in Joe Brady. I'm just throwing that name out. But,
everybody throws his name out there.
yeah, Joe Brady has experience with Joe Burrow, and that would make sense. And certainly has been around a successful program in Buffalo, and give him an opportunity to run it. But first-time head coaches in the NFL, their success rate ain't great.
Right.
I mean, there are exceptions, but I think that would be a lot to ask. That would be a real big ask. And then you're talking about another year of and that's what Mike Brown's probably thinking.
Right.
Like, well, wait a minute. We're throwing away this year and next year. I don't think I want to do that.
And that's the thing I've said too, is where I would like it to work out for the guys we have here, because exactly what you're saying, if you start over, you're probably another year away from getting back to where we were a couple years ago, being a playoff team, because you get a new GM, you get a new coach, you got to get the system in, yada, yada, yada. It's a lot to do. So
you could bring in a new GM and have that GM say, look, you got a year with Zach. If Zach can't figure it out, then get a new guy.
Right.
But
now, Ronnie here says the front office doesn't care. I don't necessarily believe. I think they care. I think they want to win. They're stubborn. It's like we've been saying this. Like, I think they want to win. I don't think they are willing to do everything.
I don't think winning a Super Bowl. I don't think they are desperate to win a Super Bowl. They do not behave like a franchise that is desperate and going to do everything they can to win a Super Bowl.
Right.
When I believe that. I just don't think that is at the crux of their being as business people.
You literally have the best trio in Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, and T. Higgins that you've ever had in your entire franchise. You literally have them on your team right now. You don't have to do a ton to make this a playoff contending team every single year. I mean, you covered the New England Patriots. All right. Yep. They had Tom Brady, and him and Belichick were the fixtures throughout everything. Other than the year they had Randy Moss and a couple other wide receivers, there wasn't like,
you know why they won their first 3 Super Bowls?
Defense.
They had a Hall of Fame caliber defense. And Tom Brady was not expected to do it all.
Right.
As a matter of fact, and he hated this early in his career, he was called a game manager.
Right.
Just don't screw it up. But he was more than a game manager earlier in his career. He was clutch. He would not make mistakes, and he would execute, 2-minute and 4-minute drives. But the names they had on defense, Vince Wilfork, Richard Seymour, Willie McGinnis, Teddy Bruschi, Ted Johnson, Lawyer Malloy, Rodney Harrison, Ty Law. I mean, go on and on and on. of players that just, and Junior Seau for a year. They just had so many playmakers on defense. Look at the defensive linemen I just named.
Right.
It's Will Fork, Richard Seymour, and Ted Washington. I mean, they knew what it took to win deep into the playoffs, and that's toughness along the defensive line. This defensive line isn't physical or tough or move people.
No, and that's the thing to me, we always keep talking about Jesse Bates. I keep talking about Jesse Bates and DJ Reader. When this defensive line started going downhill, the guy they still have never replaced is Larry Ogunjobi. That is a low-key big miss that they did not replace, because him, BJ Hill, and DJ Reader, that rotation on the inside was a big key to that run we had in that Super Bowl year.
Boy, I couldn't agree more. Chris Jenkins, I still think can be a player, but he's teetering right now towards not being worth the pick.
He's not making the jump. He's not making the jump. No.
And certainly when you take a look at the other defensive linemen that they've brought in, BJ Hill, TJ Slayton, and who am I forgetting?
McKinley Jackson.
McKinley Jackson.
He's not playing.
He's bust. I mean, when you bring in a Mike Pennell that early in the season, that should be an indication that you're kind of screwed.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it was shocking. Which, I ask you this. I thought McKinley Jackson looked pretty good last year. I mean, he had plays, he had moments, and he went from a guy who I thought was ascending to not even playing at all. What the hell happened?
Details. As we asked Zach that, he just doesn't do the details well. He doesn't get gap assignments. He doesn't get handoffs at the line of scrimmage. It's little stuff, but that little stuff matters a lot.
Well, that you could say that probably across the board with these guys. We're not on the defensive side of the ball at all. They're not detail oriented at all. We can't line up right. I mean, and the thing is, like, how do you fix this? I know drafting better, but with Joe Burrow,
you need a coach. You need a defensive coordinator to come in and put the guys in the right spots. And
that's what Al was supposed to do.
Here, the impression I get, and I don't know this, but the impression I get is the defensive coaches, the position coaches, are coaching on their own and coaching them in technique, but they're not coaching them in scheme. And there is a breakdown. When there's a breakdown between scheme and technique, you have a massive problem. That's what I think. And this is on the outside. This is watching film. This is watching games live, watching replays, is that they have guys like Chris Jenkins, like Shamar Stewart, who are Miles Murphy, who seem to be physically gifted, but have no idea what to do with their technique in a particular scheme. That's what it comes across to me like.
And unfortunately, that sounds, and I'm not saying this is going to happen, but that sounds like Shamar Stewart. I mean, he's physically gifted.
Oh, there's no question.
He had to work
he's
on
a monster.
Yeah, but the whole thing was he's got to work on his technique. He doesn't have any pass rush moves. He got that sounds exactly the same.
He almost had a sack on Sunday.
Almost. He also got pancaked too.
Yeah, he definitely got pancakes.
It was frustrating. I wish I knew the answers, Trags. I wish I could sit there and say they're going to do this, they're going to do that, and they're going to fix it. But I mean, the craziest thing is, and maybe I'm looking at it through orange-colored sunglasses, but I believe that they can fix this in a year. Because I mean, let's real quick. I'll let you on this. The offensive line, they've gotten better the last couple weeks.
I asked that to Dan Picture today, not to interrupt you, but I said to Dan Picture, your offensive line is clearly a big part of this offensive uptick. And he said, yeah, it's a lot of it is stability. A lot of it's continuity, being able to put, obviously, Dylan Fairchild at left guard, Jalen Rivers at right guard, two rookies who, they're not superstars, but they have looked really good and comfortable. They've looked comfortable in their roles. You've got two tackles who are studs. Now, Orlando's looked slower this year.
He
I
does.
don't think there's any question. But Amarius Mims looks like a keeper for years and years.
Yeah.
And
so,
Ted Karras is your put
So
him in
steady.
the middle of the line, put him in there as a center. He's not going to screw up the protection calls. Any quarterback in there is going to trust him. He's terrific. And that's why the offensive line in the last couple of weeks has transformed into, dare I say, a productive, good unit.
Right. And the crazy thing is, we're sitting there complaining about all the draft picks we missed on. They looks like so far they got the guards right. I mean,
yeah, I would agree with that.
It's a very short sample.
But I would not disagree with that. I thought
Yeah.
Jalen Rivers was a very appropriate pick where they picked him, 5th or 6th. I don't have it in front of me. I always forget the numbers, but
6. Anyway.
But again, a really solid pick at that spot. And give the devil their due. They got that one right. Dylan Fairchild does look very strong. I think they got those two right. Okay,
It looks like
give them credit. But the misses on defense are so
bad. Yeah,
so bad.
I mean, somebody asked me this today at work. When was the last time the Bengals drafted an impact defensive player? I'm like,
it's in my column that I just published.
Well,
you know who it is?
Who?
Geno Atkins.
Hey, that's the first one I said. I said Geno Atkins is the only one I could think of, and that's freaking 10, 15 years ago.
He is the last first-team All-Pro player on defense that they have drafted and developed.
Yeah,
that's bad.
I mean, we can also go back. We can also say that on the offensive line too, because Clip Bowling. It was the last one that they drafted and got to a second contract. So we're giving praise for the two that drafted this year, but before that, they haven't done good. So it's just, and the crazy thing is, like, if they could, they're not fixing this year. There's no way to fix this defense this year. I do think it can be fixed, but they got to put a lot of money.
Well, I mean, there are teams like, okay, you want to know the model that they should be following?
Good.
My former team.
Yeah.
The New England Patriots.
Absolutely.
They spent a lot of money, but they spent the money. They got a couple of draft picks. They went out and said, screw this. We got Drake May as a quarterback. We've got a couple of receivers who are not by any means T. Higgins or Jamar, not even close. But they got Stephon Diggs, who's been pretty good. But they spent, $220 million on the defense, and it's paid off. Yeah. And that's a bit of a gamble. But they said, screw it. We're not going to mess around with spending 4 or 5 years trying to get the defense right. Let's go out, get the players we need to get, and say, you guys hold a team meeting and go, okay, you guys are being paid to be good right away. That is our expectation. Not to come in and, take your time, learn the blah, blah, blah. No, you guys need to be good right away. That's why you're getting paid. That's why we brought you all in together. And they have Mike Vrabel. Yeah. And one guy that I didn't mention in that list of defensive players, ironically, was Mike Vrabel. Now he's the head coach.
Yeah. I mean, and that's the thing is if the Bengals have done, this is what the Bengals did in 2020. They threw a whole bunch of money at the defense. They got DJ back-to-back years. I can't remember, but they got BJ Reader, Mike Hilton, Chibe Awuzie, Trey Henderson. They got those four guys. That turned out, I think it was over a 2-year period.
Look what it did.
Right.
That's completely overhauled. My guess is, Jeff, that's what they're going to do this offseason.
They're going to have to.
They're going to be like, okay, we have to go back into the drawing board of 2020 and hope we can hit on a free agent class again. Yeah. Maybe sprinkle in a draft pick 2 or 3, but we got to get this right.
Yeah, that's their only option. You can't go into next year with the same thing again.
My only point about today, and what drives me nuts about today, is you could have started your free agency period today by going in and getting a Quinnen Williams or a Jeffrey Simmons. If you were of the mind that that could be an anchor for us.
Or a
we don't
Sauce
care
Gardner.
what the scheme is. We don't care what the scheme is.
Right.
You throw one of those guys
players
in the middle of your defensive line, you're good.
Yeah. Or you can throw Sauce Gardner in there too, former Bearcat.
You throw that guy, you throw a Jeffrey Simmons in next to TJ Slayton and then Chris Jenkins and then Shamar Stewart, and you're like, and then Trey Hendrickson.
Yes.
Then you're like, oh, okay, now I get what they're doing.
Yeah. But no, we got to hold on to our draft picks.
Hold on to the draft picks. Well, and let me tell you what they're probably telling you, what they would tell you publicly.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we've got to have players on productive rookie contracts. Like, well,
you don't have that.
But you don't know how to draft.
Well, yeah, they don't have them on productive rookie contracts. They got them on rookie contracts. They're not productive. Right. So what good is that doing you?
I mean, and for people saying, well, they couldn't afford. Yes, they could. They can afford to put these players under the cap. That's all garbage. Yeah. Any team, if you take a look, I mean, the prototype for this is Howie Roseman with the Eagles. Mm-hmm. He was once famously asked, would you have one bad season if it meant having, 3 or 4 Super Bowl caliber seasons after it? He's like, absolutely. I would throw away a year and then follow that up by being very, very highly competitive.
Right. I would too. Like WDN today says, imagine if we did Sauce Gardner and sell season tickets and gave 2 first rounds for Max Crosby. We could have got Max Crosby last year.
Yeah, I don't think the Raiders were willing to trade Max Crosby. I think he wanted to stay with the Raiders. That's what I had heard.
Yeah. But I mean, like you said, good.
Yeah, and Sauce would be nice, but I think their bigger issues are on the defensive line and linebacker.
And that's the thing. And I've said this I'm gonna say what I said last year. If you can get consistent pressure on the quarterback, it helps your secondary. It makes the quarterback and tracks. You and me could sit back there and probably throw a ball and not get touched.
If Sauce Gardner were an all-pro safety, I'd be all for it. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah, he's not a safety. You need 2 safeties. Yeah. You need 2 safeties. You need 2 defensive tackles. Mm-hmm. You need at least 1 edge rusher, maybe 2.
Right.
That's a lot.
That's a lot. I mean, that's why I don't know. You can't fix all of it in free agency. That's why you've got to be able to draft and hopefully. And the thing is, I said at the beginning of this, take the layups. When you see guys that are there, that aren't projects, we don't need that's what I don't get right. We don't need projects. We need a guy who come in, plug and play now.
Well, general managers who scour different scouting draft books and draft guides. People say, "Oh, only fans read that." No, that beast from Dane Brugler. Yeah, that is well crafted, well researched, and GMs do read that. There's no doubt they do, because there's a lot of information in there, and red flags, highlights, techniques, schemes.
I doubt the Bengals read it.
My problem with the Bengals would be probably they definitely read it, but they're like, "Wow, this guy's on the outside. He really
he's not a Bengal. I mean,
he doesn't. Really
come on,
know.
We are higher above them than that. We know way more." Oh my goodness!
All right.
Well, it's been fun, Tracks. I appreciate you as always. Do me a favor and plug some stuff. I know you sent me your latest article here.
Yes. The Bengals apparently thought today was just another day on the calendar. That column is up on the CLNS Cincy with a Y.com. Thank you, sir.
See it.
CLNS Cincy with a Y.com. Lots of great stuff from the Bengals beat this week. Also, my Jungle Roar podcast page, youtube.com/@JungleRoarPod. Me and Skinny kind of went on a rant after the game.
You guys are on it Sunday. I enjoyed the hell out of that one.
That was a good one. A lot to talk about. Yeah, and then, of course, all of my highlights from the interviews this week up on X @Trags, TRAGS.
And every once in a while, you can hear him on ESPN 1530 and 700 WLW when he fills in, which he does a great job too. Trags, hey, no problem, man. Appreciate you as always, dude. We'll have to do this again sometime soon, and I appreciate you jumping on as always.
Don't ever change, Iceman.
I try not to. You should tell my wife that. She thinks I should change. Just kidding.
All right, bud.
See you, Trags. Bye.
All right.
All right, guys. Hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. Trags is awesome. Make sure you guys go follow him and everything he's got going on. He does a great job writing, podcasting. He's an awesome dude. One of these days, me and him are going to get together and have a beer. I don't know when that's going to happen. We're just going to have a beer. I'm not telling you guys where we're going to be at because Trags is a superstar. You guys are just mob us, trying to get Trags autographed and everything. But, that's going to happen. Anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. Thanks for watching. I've been live streaming on YouTube, Facebook, X, Twitch. I've also been live streaming on Instagram. So what's up to Instagram out there? I'm working on streaming to TikTok eventually here soon, but you can follow me on all those, along with follow me on Substack. I got a couple articles there I put out every week. I try to put out at least about 2 or 3 out a week. And I hope you guys enjoy it. You subscribe to it. It's free. And check that out. And also check out the podcast. It's on. It'll be put on sound later on tonight. Put on podcast on Beanpod, Apple iTunes, Spotify, Google, Stitcher Play, pretty much wherever you get your podcast. Please do me a favor, listen to it, rate it, like it, review it. Give it a 5-star review in the comments so more fans can find my podcast. Listen to it tomorrow because we do not have local sports radio morning until Tony Pike's 360. So listen to my podcast and listen to the other podcast. It helps out.
All right, shout out to my sponsors. They are Priority Lawn and Landscaping for all your lawn and landscaping needs. You need your grass cut, you need your shrubbery trimmed, I don't know, you need a paper patio, you need anything. I mean anything. Landscaping required. Think Priority Lawn and Landscaping. Also, shout out to T Properties, quality housing for quality people. Check out the website at www.tpropertiesllc.com for all your rental property management needs and your rental needs. And of course, Meyer Window, Door, and More. I got it in my house. I highly recommend getting them yours. They're energy efficient, great looking windows, easy to clean. Meyer Window, Door, and More. The website is MeyerCincinnati.com. And also shout out to my favorite brewery, Moorline Lager House. Get on down there, get you some delicious Moorline beer, some delicious Moorline food. And tell them I sent you. Moorline Lager House.
Down to Moorline Lager House. Check us out for the watch party, the Steelers game. We'll be down there, and just don't forget that the next tailgate we'll be giving away this autographed T. Higgins helmet. And the way to register, if you have not registered yet, is to get tickets to the Best Day Brewing tailgate at Moorline Lager House. Also, you got to register once, and if you want to register twice for it, join the Moorline Lager House Rewards Program. All the three. Join it, and you can be entered twice in the win this autographed T. Higgins helmet. Other than that, I'll see you guys tomorrow. I got Skinny on tomorrow. My boys are on this week. I had Trags on today. I got Skinny on tomorrow. So, an interesting show tomorrow night. As always, Hooday for life. And everybody, EWO. Till I die. Hooday for life, baby. That's just sports, baby. See ya!
Another great show. You guys still here? The show's over. You can come back tomorrow. I'm out of here. See ya.